Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once more to Grigsby's War in the Pacific Admiral's Edition. I have been doing a little bit of reading on ship damage and repair. Now, I'd like to go back to our ship reports over here, or basically our intelligence reports. So, combat report, wherever that thou. Here we go, combat report. Now, the reason why I want to go back to this is because I want to show you again the Lexington. Because there's something we need to take into account here, and something that I would like to show you guys. Where are thou? It's some way down here now, but it's really nice that you get to keep every combat report. That will make a big difference in the future. I do wish I could sort it though, but hey ho. Where are you? Here somewhere. We got me there. Unless it only keeps the combat reports from the first turn. Or basically from this current turn. Which is looking fairly likely, actually. Okay, no matter, I can adjust for this, so just give me one moment here. And here we go. So I did keep a screenshot of this. Now, what I want to talk about is the fact of... let's zoom in here. Here we go. Right. 3 torpedo hits, on fire, heavy damage. Now, the difference between heavy damage and minor damage is quite substantial. So, minor damage is basically water damage. So that would indicate that the ship is flooding. Now, heavy damage equals structural damage, which is very dangerous. Basically, structural damage and water damage combined can create horrific flooding, and that can lead to the ship sinking. Now, if I find Kido Butai, which is about over here. Okay, now let's take a look at the ships here. So if we take a look at the Kagi. So, what we're looking for here is the subcomponents. So you can see that the... yep, there we go, just saw it then, just as I came off. Right, yep. System damage, flood damage, engine damage. Now, if your engines are damaged, that will have an effect on the speed you can achieve. Now, when your ship is taken on flooding, basically taken on water, it's a hell of a lot better for the ship to travel at that cruising speed. If they travel faster, they can risk damage. If they travel slower, they can risk flooding as well. And if you have high system damage, that will, of course, indicate, like, warped bulkheads, blown holes in the ship. Basically, big problems with the ship's actual structural integrity. So that's something I just wanted to talk about there. Now, I do want to reconsider my position for the Kidabutai. I do think that we can probably take this task force on with the actual submarines in the area. And we do have the G3s in this airfield as well, which would be fantastic. It is rather interesting that they would come so close to the Marshall Islands, considering the amount of danger that does present to them. So we are going to edit these missions over here. Gonna go for human control. Sub-patrol, yep. Okay, sub-patrol, yep. So I need to set these patrols. Okay. Not available when destination set. Okay. How do you clear this? Right, okay. So what I want to do is have this set on a new patrol. Okay. Patrol around target. Which is about here. There we go. So basically... yep, linger 1 to 2 days. That's good for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my submarines basically patrol this area. The reason why we may not have reacquired the Lexington on the second pass is due to the fact that I did not have my ships on sub-patrol. Now, these submarines do not basically react unless they're on sub-patrol. Yep, there we go. Yeah, okay, I didn't really need to do that, but hey. Right, task force routing. So I can't do that right now. Right, there we go. So this is a special submarine, I do have to point that one out. The I-16. Yep, I believe this one is capable of carrying a midget submarine, which would make sense. Yes, is the type C1. Yep, so this is the C1 class over here. So I'm going to bring this up on a page so you guys can see what this is. Basically, these are submarines that were able to carry midget submarines. Let's find it. Type C1 submarine, here we go. Right, so let's take a look at the I-16. There we go. Type C class submarines. One of the first classes of a submarine Imperial Japanese Navy. There we go. Utilizes Kaiten motherships. So this is the midget submarine, I do believe. I think. Human torpedo, yep, there we go. But manned torpedoes and suicide craft. Basically, you wouldn't want to be on one of these things. That's a horrific way to go. Anyway, we'll move on then. So I need to have you on a patrol path. There must be a way to cancel these task force destinations that I'm not aware of. Right, okay. So I think if you set it to itself, then yep, it cancels that out. So what we'll do then is we'll set boundary... Oh, no. Need to set... Patrol around target. So I'll patrol around Tanogi. There we go. Boundary free. There we go. Oops. So at least we now know how to set these little crafts onto patrol areas. I do think it's a good idea that we should try to move them here. And the sound in the background that you are noticing is the fact that I took some music from the Grigsby's War in the War in the East, and I added them to a little folder with War in the Pacific music. I like the music, and I think it will definitely go well, and it just had some variety. I could probably do with taking some music from War in the West if it has something different, and ooh, Red something? I can't remember. Basically the Cold War game. Can't remember the name actually now. Okay, patrol around target. We'll head over here to the south then. Now, we do have another submarine hex. Yep, there we go. So these are large submarines. These are the C-class, apparently. Okay. Ah, damn it. Now, I'll have you patrol around this vicinity. I-24, yep, there we go. So we have created a few zones for our submarines to patrol. What I'm expecting them to do is basically to head back to Johnson Island. And that's why I was talking about Kitabutai before. I'm going to have Kitabutai head down here to Johnson Island. The reason for that is, well, with these submarines over here, and then these submarines which I'm going to have patrol this kind of area over here, and the planes here, I think we could try to corral the Americans into heading back to Pearl, which they are going to have to at some point. Right, so form you into task force, sub-patrol. Yep. They have enough endurance for this task. They do have a good torpedo complement too, so that's what I need. Okay, we'll patrol this area. Okay, so that is I-175. Right, I-173. There we go. Patrol zone. Patrol around target. There we go. Next task force. Right, I-175 and 3 have one. So I believe it's I... Is it? Ah. Okay, so that's I-175. I-173, so I-174 needs to have a patrol. Actually, did I already... this one's actually slightly damaged. Right. Yes. Head north. There we go. So we have a bunch of submarines heading for this task force. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 submarines in this area. We do have further submarines over here, which are heading to track though. So I might allow them to head to track and just to refuel. Let's see. Endurance isn't really too good, so I'm going to have them just do that. Now, what they could be potentially doing is heading over to Australia, which would be rather interesting and somewhat annoying. Ideally, I want them to return over to Pearl Harbor so I can intercept them on their way back. And what do we have at truck in terms of air power? We do have 13 fighters, 4 float planes, so not exactly anything huge. That's not too bad, man. I do have this oiler over here. Right. We do have a good amount of fuel here. That's actually a really good amount of fuel. I'm gonna have fuel and supply stockpiled here. I mean, this is a really, really large and important base here. Ideally, I could probably do some extra troops just to prepare this for the future. But if we can try to sink the American carriers early on, then we can be relatively safe in the knowledge that we're not going to be too threatened. Right, so I need an oiler. And that's going to be you. Yep, tanker, there we go. So I'm going to grab that. The idea of this is basically... Is this at full or not? I can't tell. I'm going to have that start to take on fuel. The idea of that is, with these deviations I'm making with Kido Butai, we may have to stop and take on extra fuel. So if I can potentially ferry fuel over to one of these islands, or even to Kido Butai itself, should it be safe, then I'm going to save myself some time. Right, you're patrolling around here. It's patrol zone. I will edit. Right, clear. I'm going to patrol around this side. There we go. Yeah, they have huge endurance. Okay. I-5. Just basically this vicinity. There we go. Now, Kido Butai. The thing is, I could go for the risky direct option. Basically, I'll use red here. So I could go straight towards the enemy over here. However, I think the safer option, and therefore the better option, is instead to head south towards Johnston Island. The reason for this is, well, if the Americans over here, which I'm going to have in the light green, they have really I'd say 3 possible choices, I suppose. Choice 1 is they head to Australia. Choice 2, they head north to wait to destroy my invasion force, but that will still leave them without a port, so they're either going to go, once again, to Australia, or they're going to head to Pearl. Then choice 3, that's awful 3, is the fact that they head to Pearl Harbor. That's my idea anyway. So what we can do then is, with this direct path, obviously we'd be able to intercept them probably about here. But if I go for the safer option, I do put myself in the way towards Pearl Harbor. And from this point along here, I can adjust to go whichever way I need to. If we, take a look here. Yeah, you can see here, Johnson Island. As if I take a position up around Johnson Island, I will have to be wary of the Pearl Harbor complement. But what I could do is I could probably position myself off here, or even off here. But the thing is, they're going to have to go around or through Kido-Butai. And with the amount of submarines that I have in the area, that's going to be fairly difficult for them to do that. So that's what I'm hoping for. Now, to mention the submarines in the area as well. We do have an absurd amount. Now, what I need to do with these submarines is, we know the Americans are round about, they're round about here in this area. So what I'll do then is I'll have these submarines head back to Pearl. We'll try and cross this area. Or even these submarines over here could form a search pattern over here. So ideally I want to have my submarines placed round here. Round here. Something like that. We need to try and make it as difficult as possible for the Americans to get home. And if I can find it, then that will be great news. Okay. New task force. Sub-patrol. I-19. Good amount of fuel there. Set patrol zone. Set patrol zone. So... Actually, where the hell is... It was I-24, was it? Was it I-24 or was it I-23? I can check that again. Good thing I have some of these things on screenshots. So it was I-25 that did the damage. We'll have you head over there. Alright, border zone 1. That's a hideous patrol pattern. So where is I-25? We have I-19, 23, 21, I-25. Okay, so was it actually around this area then? Ah. Right, so that changes things then. So, potentially, the American task force could be within this area around here. So moving Kido-Butai to this area, Johnson Island, is even more important. If I can try to block that there with Kido-Butai, we can definitely put the Lexington to rest if it's still floating by the time it arrives. So what we need to do then is we need to establish these submarines into a patrol path. And try to make it as difficult as possible for the American carrier to return home. Assuming it is in fact alive. So what we'll do then is we'll change this. Now, our best option would probably to be head back to Pearl Harbor. Okay, clear that. Right, set patrol. So we'll patrol towards Pearl Harbor. We do have to be careful because of the large amount of aircraft available in that location. But I know where it's going to be going, that's the thing. That's the beauty here. They can't really risk a trip to the American West Coast. At least, I don't think they could do that. It seems a little bit out of the... well, a little bit extreme. Now, AMCs actually can lay mines, which is rather interesting. Would I do well to try and lay some mines around Pearl Harbor? It would be kinda dangerous, and by kinda I mean it would probably be a suicidal mission for the AMC. Right, so I'll allow that to return home, and then we can put that to use elsewhere. Okay, so I-19 has orders. Yeah. I-26. We will find them. It's a shame I wasn't aware about the fact that you need to have the patrol mission in there for them to react. We'll find them. I-21. Troll around here. Right. So what I can do as well is I can consult previous screenshots of the position of the enemy. Which I will try to do now. Okay. Right, here we go. So this is the previous location. Now they could be in this area over here, so I'll make sure to try and patrol this area instead. There we go. I must find the carrier. We did have a report of a task force of about 10 ships or so heading east at about 15 knots. Now these are actually damaged, but hey, they will do for just now. All I need is for them just to get in there and deliver 1 or 2 torpedoes just to finish it off. If they do that, they will be heroes of the Japanese Empire, or the Empire of Japan. Okay. I'm trying to spread out as much as possible, really, just to try and increase the chances of spotting them. I-15? Did I do I-15? I think I was meant to do I-9. I should really have checked. Okay. I know this has been a rather laborious episode, but hey, I have a lot to do here. Now, on the off chance that they have decided to go south, I should probably have something to cover that, which will be I-8. I'll probably have that head towards here. I'll have it head towards Palmyra, just in case the enemy tried to go around that way. Okay. Now, I could try to interdict them in this area over here. What I would do... Well, what's a better idea is the fact that if I try to lock off Pearl Harbor itself, that's going to increase the chance of me catching them. I know where it's going to be going, that's the thing. At least I have a good indication of where it will head. And it will most likely head to where it will be able to repair. And that will be the islands of Hawaii. Basically Pearl Harbor. That's my thoughts anyway. We do have a decent amount of fuel in these submarines to linger around a day or a few days extra. So I think it is doable. Should I lose a submarine? Well, it's a loss, but if they lose a carrier, that's a much, much greater loss. And it's one that they will not be able to replace for a long time. What I'm trying to do here is to ensure that we have maybe a year of unmolested activity, for the most part. Okay, so Kiributai will definitely head towards Pearl. Let's see. Right. There we go. So I'll set you... patrol zone. Patrol around target. So your target will be... out round about here. Is that... Okay. Boundary 1. Boundary 2. And... boundary 3 over here. I'll go for normal routing. So obviously it could be fairly dangerous, but I think this is going to be good. I mean, you can see the range at which we can detect things, and should I deem it necessary, we could potentially come at Pearl Harbor for a second attack and try to neutralize something there. It would probably cost us a lot in planes, but it could be potentially worth it to do so. Okay. Now, something else that we need to discuss is the engines, namely the Ha-32, and the requirements I have for the G4M1 Betty. Now, the G4M1 Betty is a pretty nice aircraft, and we'll take a look at that. So I'm going to take a look at the iGen Navy, I guess? G3, there we go, G3. So we have the G3M2 Nell. Now these are pretty damn nice, good speed there, good endurance, and yeah, significant range. They have good altitude, they climb okay-ish, maneuver is pretty good, durability is pretty good, they don't have any armor, their max load is decent, they do have a good gun value too, which isn't bad at all. This cannon is actually pretty nice, and the fact that they can mount a torpedo is pretty damn good. So I'm going to increase the production of the Ha-32. So we'll go there, air production. So at the moment we're building about 0.83 per month. Which, not too good. So what we'll do then is we'll go over here, industry management, and yeah, we're already on air. We'll go in engines too. Now what I want to do for air is I want to increase the amount of... yep, like over here, this factory here, I need to increase this production. So we're going to expand that. We'll have that expand now then. Okay. And then as well we need to increase the production of the G3M2, which I will expand by only 2 apparently. Okay. The G3... oh, sorry, the G4M1 Betty would be a good idea too. Which I'll take a look at. But that will be next episode, so thank you guys, and goodbye for now.